Okay, let's get started. My name is Martin Vögeli. I'm the author of the book Share Bread, make some new friends, connect with people. It's a promise I can make because I know it works, and it will work for you too. To make new friends is not as difficult, especially when you bring them some food. We humans trust people that share with us their food, and it's also we start to trust people that they give us food, especially when it is free. Those recipes are all best-selling products here in my region where I live, so you can sell those breads for sure. I have a small marketing section inside the book written, and you can sell those breads for 100%. They will sell when the people like them. But I assume anybody on the planet likes fresh, good smelling bread. So I have no toast inside this in this book. They are all just handmade, fresh artisan breads, also artisan breads. I'm not an artist, I'm a baker, and is a sourdough bread is also inside. And when you have read it from cover to cover, you will find many interesting information. So use it. They are not my life's work, but those informations are valuable. That's because I have written them in a book. The recipes are all easy to do. They are not. It's no rocket science to make a dough and bake it. Just follow the instructions. When you encounter some problems, most often there are three problems. I will do a troubleshoot right now before you even start with baking them. First is the yeast. I have written use fresh yeast because it's almost a guarantee that your bread will grow to the appropriate size, and it will rise how it should rise. When you use dry yeast, I've used in the first clip I've made in this series, you will see it after, dry yeast, because we are now I'm screwed. I don't can go out without fix some snow chains on my car. It's snowy, it's icy. I don't want to risk an accident just because I have to buy some new fresh yeast. So I was grounded while I made this series. I grounded myself because I don't want to risk to lose my car. I have lost the car in a icy accident, so I don't want to go there again. Understandable. Okay, so long talk, small sentence. The yeast, I've used dry yeast. You can use dry yeast, of course you can use dry yeast, but there's the problem that can get you in trouble, and that is the dry yeast is too old. So the dry yeast will not be renewed. You don't can bring life to that thing. We are not gonna make some Frankenstein yeast, okay? So use fresh yeast when the dough don't rises up good. You have to double check your yeast, and the second is when you use the dry yeast again, double check. Make a small take such a small cup, put your yeast inside, stir it on with some honey and water. Never ever add salt to your yeast. It will kill it immediately. It is a destructive force of nature, salt to yeast. When it is in the dough, the percentage is about 95 to 90% dough and 5 to 10% salt, so that's no problem. But when you add to 10 or 15 gram yeast, 10 gram salt, it is 50-50, and the salt will kill the yeast 100%. So mix the honey and the yeast and some water, and when that starts to form super small bubbles, you know the yeast is working. This will take about 5 to 10 minutes. but then you're certain the yeast is working and is alive. Okay, and when you have inside the bread, when you cut it open, I've made one. This is the result from the series I have on video. This, you see the crust around here. But I can show you this in focus. You see the crust is not thick. It is about 2 to 5 millimeters thick, and in the middle is the dough. It has a wonderful homogeneous structure. There is no too big holes. That's a normal hole. They are all, that's okay. That's a good reference point. When the dough is under here, the bread has some dough inside the bread anywhere. It indicates when the dough is liquid down here, then you have not enough heat from the underside, and you have taken out the bread too early from your from your oven. The same is when you have upside here a high bubble and some dough in the middle that is not baked, then you have too much heat from the upper side of the oven. When you're afraid to take out the bread because it is too dark, then your oven is obviously too hot when then these things appear. I made thousands of mistakes by breaking bread. I had the luck of very good chefs and foremen. They told me a lot about it, and it's nature. You make mistakes, make a lection out of these mistakes. Take these lections with you along the way until, well, your story is over. My story will end sometimes. We all are going to die, or our bodies. Well, let's not get too philosophic on this. What I want to say is, make mistakes, bake a bread wrong, analyze it, what has happened. Was it the yeast? Was it the salt too early to the yeast? Was it an old dry yeast? Had your oven be not adjusted appropriate? You have upper heat, under heat, and both heats. I've made the recipes for a standard oven, also no gas oven, just an electronic oven with 2 heat inducting coils, or well, just some 2 metal strings that get heated. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know the word for this in English, Heizspirale, but that's it. When you know you have forgotten to make on the underheat and the upper heat, the bread will show you this, and the evidence will be you have the dough. It's doughy on the underside, or it is burned on the underside, and the dough is not baked, and the bread has a big bubble. You will see it's the opposite of what it is shown. You have to think about it. When your bread gets too dark, take the temperature down to 160 or 170 degrees Celsius. This will not burn your bread too fast, and you will have a harder crust, but the bread will not be burned and the dough will not be lost, so you don't throw away cash. Number 4 is, my sister has asked me about this because she had made a lot of braided bread, Zopf called in the bread in the book. It's the last recipe. It is, you take some, you make some 2 strings. I can demonstrate you this fast. You make some 2 thicker shape dough pieces like this. You lay it flat on the surface. You take this from the left and place this on the right, on the left. Then you take this from the up down, and the other on the upper side. Then you make the same. Left, right, up, down, and then you have there a braid. So, and this will give a Zopf. Now, when you're going to make the dough, and you have to take it out the bowl or the machine, then you cut your pieces and you let these pieces rest. For this Zopf you make 2 parts or 4 parts. When you make 2 parts, you make some round balls and place it on a floured surface so it will not stick. And then you wait 15 minutes. This is the first rising time. You must do this first rising time and the second. When you don't do this, then on the outside under the skin of the dough you will see like muscle fibers, like here some singes, I think the word is singes. Then you will see like muscle fiber under the skin of the dough. That's because you did not let the dough rest 2 times and rise 2 times. What happens inside the dough is, in the first rising time, the yeast will produce some bubbles, some small and some big, and then when you flatten the dough, you will flatten those bubbles, but not the micro bubbles. And in the second rising time, the micro bubbles will get homogeneous anywhere in the dough. So you have anywhere about the same size of bubbles. And well, that is the trick to not get this muscle fiber appearances on the skin of the dough on any bread. You have to wait these 2 rising times. When you don't do it, the bread will have such skin problems. Let's call it skin problems. Okay, what we have more for errors or mistakes. Well, when you forget the salt, that will be number 6. I talk about this in the clips, so I will spare you this now. Okay, now I will talk about the machine, how to use it, about the forms, the dishes, the yeast, the salts, the flavoring of the salts. I will talk about how we make a dough, how we knit the dough, how to steam the dough in the oven, and how to take a knock test to check out is it done, and at least sandwiches and some other product ideas. When you need some other product ideas, shoot me mail. I will check out what I can deliver you, and well, then you're connected too. That's it, let's get started. I will make now a cut and I will appear here in a different kind of clothing, and the machine will be here and the stuff, and that's my set. Bye! Cut! I have the intention to talk about this machine, what these 2 salts have to do with baking, what this stuff back there has to do with baking, what these 2 baking dishes have to do with producing the breads in your book, and how to use them and what they have for properties, excuse me, and why you should use them and not other stuff. Also, that's my opinion. It's not laws marked in stone, so it's a good reference to speak. So, okay, let's start with why this machine. I like it. It's small. It's easy to handle. You can carry it around. It has about 3 kilo or 6 pounds. It's okay. Okay. I made an affiliate link for this machine, so you have the similar machine like I have to work with. I made them on Amazon, of course, because Amazon has a good service when it comes to customers and drop shipping stuff, or get the same stuff that I use. Okay. This is a egg white whisk, or a whisk for creams. This is for heavier creams. We don't use them to make some dough. They will ruin your machine to about 80 degrees they will ruin your machine when you make a dough with it. Okay, so don't use them at all for making dough. Okay, why will they destroy your machine, or why something will go defect when you use them? The gear is made to move the stuff around in the machine. It generates force to move the stuff around in the machine. So when you use this hook inside the machine, the dough can go nowhere. You can take out the board, by the way. The energy can go nowhere, just in the hook and the force, the moving force, and the moving force will break something off of this gear, also of this hook, of this plastic hook, or some inside this machine. So don't use this for dough. That's just a warning, okay? Take the warning seriously, because you will maybe kill your machine. Okay, I don't want to kill your machine, use this hook. This hook is designed for dough, and that's why we use this. You place it inside, turn it around, and it holds. Now you can take this ring off. Oh, there's flour on. You can take this ring off. I would not. I would let it stay on, because when you handle flour, the flour will go up because of the movement of the hook. So your kitchen will be not white, but you see where the flour has gone. So let this ring on. You can up the machine with this lever. When you put it up, when you put the head up of the machine, it will stay there where it is. Go away, salt. This is a form of dough spatula. You can get this too from the affiliate link. I made this myself. It's from a plastic box from ice cream. This was stracciatella. It has the same. It's the same plastic. I made these because I had time to do it, and well, it works. I like to recycle stuff. It's really, when you can recycle, why not? Okay, now you close the machine by turning the lever down, and it will stay closed. You don't use the power or P mode here when you're mixing, also I don't do it. I tell you now why. When you listen how fast this works. This will punch the flour inside the machine like a crazy chicken. Okay, it will flap the flour anywhere. The flour will come out. Okay, welcome back, or welcome to my channel. Okay, now we are going to talk about this two kinds of forms. This is an iron form. It's a mold. We say the baking form or bake form. There are a few names in English: baking mold, bake form, baking dish, or whatever. This is made from iron. This is made from aluminium. I like the iron bake form, baking forms about 9 over 10, and those about 4 over 10, because the heat is not transferred from the oven inside the dough. Likewise, the iron will transfer the heat from the stove to the dough faster and more crisp. You will get a better crust with these iron molds or form. This is the aluminium form. You can take it apart in 2 pieces. You can make really long cakes about I don't know, an inch. It is in centimeter. It's about 38 centimeters. It's over 10 inch, about I guess 14 to 16 inches long. Okay, now so anything you put inside such a form will get sticky on the walls. on the iron not so much like on the aluminium, because when you take a microscope and watch these, an electron microscope, when you watch these two metals beside, this would be the iron, and the stuff will stick to this mountains of iron not so good as to the like on the aluminium, because the aluminium has very big spiky surface, and the dough gets inside or glue gets inside. You can glue very good aluminium, but not as good as a very good gewalzt, I don't know the word of this in English. It's made between two big cylinders. The surface will get very close and dense, so their glue does not stick as good. Okay, you should prefer iron over aluminium. It has more advantages, because you don't need baking paper. I use in this aluminium molds, I use some pergament paper or baking paper. You just place it in there, you cut the piece off, you place the dough inside, and you're good to go. After you've baked the bread, you take a knife and cut the dough loose from these both sides, left and right of the form, because the dough will stick here and here. Or you can fat it with a fat spray. This is a baking spray. You can buy them online. You just apply some of the spray, take your fingers, move it around so it is anywhere. This side, and clean your hands, and you're good to go. Now there's oils anywhere, also that's good I have done it. And you can place the dough inside this, place it in the oven, and you're good to go. Okay, next clip, then I will talk in the next clip about the honey, the yeast, and the salts. Okay, welcome back. This there. Okay. Now it has snow on the street outside. I don't like to drive when snow is outside on the street. I had an accident a few years ago. I drive when I have to, but not when I don't must. So. And for such days like today, we have now about 10 inches of snow. It is icy on the streets. I don't like to drive around when it's icy. Who likes it? And for such situations, I will now say survival mode is on. We use dry yeast. This is not fresh yeast. This is dry yeast. It is dried yeast. So you can use this. It has about 75% power of fresh yeast, because fresh yeast is alive. And to get some yeast back alive, you take honey and water. You take about 1 spoon of honey and as a teaspoon, like this one, a small teaspoon. It has chalk on the side. You take such a teaspoonful of honey and water, about 2 spoons, and then you mix this. I will show you this later. And then you have a yeast. This is 7 grams. It is about 21 grams of fresh yeast, half a cube. Our cubes here are 42 grams heavy. This is enough for one bread for about half a pound. This will work. This has enough CO2 producing power to bring up a half a kilo of dough. Okay. Now this is sea salt. Those are both sea salts. This is a Maldon sea salt, and this is a normal sea salt. This is half a pound. It costs about, I have no clue, $3. This is Maldon sea salt flakes. This costs a half a pound. Costs $10. This is. It tastes like heaven. It's really a good salt. Sea salt I like too. It has a longer taste of salt. This one is when I think of tastes like in melodies, like in the movie Ratatouille. My brain can work this way. You can maybe work this too. It's like when you taste wine. You taste wine, and it gives you a first appearance of the tastes and aroma, and then you feel how it goes away, and then you sip it down, and then the whole taste starts to become a lot different, because from starting from beginning of the experience, the aroma and taste is well, it makes its first appearance, and then it comes the body, and then comes the downsip. And these salts have different tastes too, so you can test them and you will make your own experience. This has a very soft and very softy, slightly taste of salt, a harmonic salt. This is more like a stronger salt. You will feel it when you taste it. When you take some stone salt beside this, you will immediately feel the differences in taste, because stone salt is like a train in the face. It is here salt. It's so strong, and that's why I like Maldon, or this is why I like to take sea salt. So, message of the day: buy some sea salt, buy some Maldon salt, try them. Throw some money at them, make a new food experience. They are worth the money. Okay, what we have else? That's it for the salts, for the yeast and the machine. I will go now and make a bread and show you the steps, what to do, how and why, and then you see how to work with this machine and the dough. And the knitting too, I will show you the knitting. That was the intention to make the next video. Okay, that's about the salt. Maldon is good and sea salt is good. Yeast, buy fresh yeast, or buy this for survival situations or survival days when you don't can go out because a blizzard is outside. I don't like blizzards. Also micro blizzard. It's snowy outside. I don't like it snow. Well, that's it. You can use, when you don't have honey, you can use sugar too for the yeast. This will work too. Just don't, when you mix the yeast and the sugar, don't add salt, okay? No salt. Salt will kill the yeast. Well, that's it. Salt will kill yeast. Don't use salt and yeast, okay? Just sugar and yeast. So, next clip, bye. Hello. Okay, now I have the intention to talk about salt and how they taste and for what I use them and for what not. Okay, first for what I don't use salt. When I mix yeast, dry yeast or any other yeast, with honey or with sugar, you don't add salt. You will kill the yeast immediately with too much salt, not with 1%. That's not as drastic or tragic in killing yeast, but when you take more than 20% salt to yeast, you will kill it. It's just biochemics, okay? So don't mix yeast with salt. Now, those are three kinds of salts. This is a Maldon sea salt. This is the most expensive salt you will find. Also, there are sure more expensive salts than this. This has a very, very subtle taste. It's not like this salt. This is stone salt. This is like a train in your face salt. It's so strong. And this is a sea salt. This is really rich in taste and salt and minerals. You have really a big, it's not subtle, it's really a full salt. And this is just salty. Okay, so I used this Maldon sea salt flakes to salt food like steak or spaghetti or whatever. It's my main salt for my guests when I have them. This I use for make spaghetti in the water, and yes, you can salt 2 times. Yes, of course you can. And this salt I have used in the past often to salt my spaghetti. Then I got to the sea salt. You can use this for anything in your kitchen, but it's so salty. You would not use this stone salt for the same application like this Maldon sea salt. So I never would give my guest this stone salt. It's just too hard. This is really good. So $10, $3, and this is about $2 to $5. Depends on what stone salt you buy. It's like a Himalayan salt. It's through a stone salt, Himalayan salt. This is made from salt water. This is made too from salt water from England. This is from France, and this is from Switzerland. Okay, that's about the salt. You can add the salt immediately when you start mixing the dough. That's okay. Don't forget the salt. Saltless bread smells saltless. It smells just flawed. It's not as interesting and not as full in taste like a salted bread. When you forget the salt, you can make, I have written about this in the book, you can mix a liquid made from your salt content or salt recipe need in about 5 to, it's always about between 6 and 10% salt you use for the equal to the flour you use, or the total mass is about 6 to 10% is salt from the total mass of dough you make, okay? Or weight. So when you forget to add the salt to the dough, you make a liquid. You take 2 or 3 spoons of water, you take the salt, the 5 grams of salt, an example, and then mix this in a liquid. You make a sole. It's called Sohle in Germany. It's the water mixed with the salt. Then you can add this. Then you add this liquid to the dough when it is in mixing. So the salt water will mix in the dough really well. When you just take the stone dry and just try to mix the dry salt in it, you will have bites they are salty, and you will have bites they are not so salty. So to get a homogeneous taste of good bread, when you forget to add the salt to the dough and you check it in the end, oh, I forgot the salt, for Christ's sakes, then you make a small liquid, a small sole. You mix the salt that is needed in the recipe and give it to water, and then you mix this salt water and throw it inside the machine. My chef made this way, and it works flawless. So that's about the salts. You can add pepper to bread, but you can add chocolate to bread. You can add anything to bread. It's like making pizza, but you have to know what you're doing, and yeah, you have to try. You can try it, for Christ's sake, and then write your own bake book with your recipes. Maybe you can share later than this book. with recipes. So that's about the aromas, or the salt, what gives the bread some kind of aroma. I use, in example, oregano or estragon or basil when I make some ciabatta or olive bread. You can add this. Then you have some kind of Italian flavored bread. They are really good, especially when you give them to barbecue. I can promise you that when you make a good olive bread with some oregano, that will knock the shoes off of your guests when you give this to barbecue. This is it's just such amazing flavors that you taste. So try this in example. And well, that's it for the salt. Maldon, expensive, very, very, very good taste. Sea salt, middle price, but very good to use in a big quantity. Stone salt, well, use it or let it be. I would not buy again. I will not buy in my life again stone salt. No, will not happen. Maldon I will buy again. That's it about the salt. Good luck. A guidance, and it's not a law that you have to use exactly. Also, let's say we have a 2 to 5% tolerance in these recipes. So that said, when you have a gram too much of salt, you will smell it. So when you take less of a salt, it's not so bad, but don't take too much salt. When I have 4 grams too much salt, that is 40% of the 10 grams that I have written in the recipe. That's not good, okay? So you have to take 10 grams salt when it is written 10 gram. 11 is okay, but not 15 grams. That's too much. You will have a really hard salty bread. So, or just salty but hard in taste, okay? So now I will start the machine. I will take a cut here because the machine just makes noise, and who want to see a machine running for 4 minutes? Nobody. Also, I don't want to see it. Okay. 5 minutes in gear 1. Okay, that's a mistake. 5 minutes in gear 3. And after 5 minutes in gear 4. Now I will cut, you will see us in a split second. Tuck, here we are again. I've made for these two an affiliate link. My sister has the same. I think my mother has the same too. It's a good, easy scale. She uses 2 batteries, small AA. You can change the measurement units in pound, in kilo, in ounce, and in gram. It's a good product. Okay, now we are done here with the 3 minutes. I will show you now the dough color, and for this I take off the hook. Now you clean with the spatula the dough down, so we don't throw any dough away. So, and now you see the dough is brownish. It's not a white dough. It's a caramel-like flour color. Okay, now that's mixed 3 minutes in gear 3. That's enough. When it's this way mixed, it's good mixed. Now we are going to knit it. Going to knit it. We take I will now let it run 5 minutes in gear 4. So the dough gets a texture to it, and the gluten get interwoven, and we have a kneaded dough. Okay, This is the aluminium. I have written in this about the book too. You just make some kind of small mold, so you can throw the water inside this mold and it will produce steam inside the oven. It just needs to be watertight, that's all, so don't make any holes in it. And place it in the oven, and under the grid, I have the grid inside, the baking grid. The form is, yes, the form is fatted, it's oiled, it's prepared to go. I will place it there on my working surface. I need some flour. I will make a cut now. Let the machine run 5 minutes in gear 4, and then net the dough on the table. Show you how to let it rest. You don't have much to do there, just let it rest. And then I will form it after the resting. This will give 2 cuts too, so yeah, we have they are just cuts, okay. And then we are going to place the form in the oven and steam it, steam the stove, the oven, excuse me. And then we will check out the results after it's baked, and then we have bread to share. Okay, see you. Zack. Here we are. Oh, my Monster drink. I love Monster. They are really good. Okay, now we have mixed it 5 minutes in gear 4. Yeah, that's not bad. Now the dough is, well, it is some gooey, but that's what I was after. Okay, now this will stay inside here. First, when you going to work anywhere on a surface with your dough, or when you rest, when you wanna place your dough to rest, you take flour and flour your staying place. You just take some in between your fingers, put your thumb over it, and then tuck, 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 sprinkle it. It's easy, and well, no one will judge you how this looks. So, okay. Now you're going to take out the dough. Again, take the bowl. And then take the dough out. The bowl should look almost clean, and then you're good to go. Now, next step, when you have done this, you take the hook, your bowl, and you will fill that with water up here. Then you have a really easy cleaning cycle with these 2 parts. When you now let this stay anywhere, it's warm inside. The dough will get hard like concrete. You will not be happy, okay? So just place this in the sink, fill it with water to the top, and let it stay there. I will go and clean this few pieces here. In this time the dough rises the first time. So this I don't need here. Yeah, come on. Oh. Okay, it's full enough. Take some flour on your fingers, and then take the warm dough and work it. You just take your fingers, take the bottom in, press it slightly, and then you go from this position, from the long, in this position, and then roll it on over. And then you do the same again. Roll it, turn it, roll it, turn it. And this you can make with one hand. You grab, you turn, you grab, you turn, you grab, you turn, you grab. Take some flour, grab, turn, and this hitting movement does stretch the dough. So, but now don't overdo this. You can, to get the dough round, you take your fingers and you make this movement, this, so inside. You take it, you take the bottom to the center and move it this way. So, and then you move the dough. The dough will slightly stick on the table, and this we use to pull the dough outside to the inside. Then we get a skin like this. You see there, the skin starts to rip apart, and you see down here, I hope you see it, some dough fibers or dough muscles now, let's say. Now, we let stay this here with a clean kitchen towel. This is not clean. This is a clean towel, just like this. Oh, that's not big enough. So let the dough stay under there for, I will now start the clock for 15 minutes. 15 minutes, and then the dough will, now check out the dough, how big it is now. It's some smaller, as big as my hand. It should about double the size in 15 minutes. When not, it's not bad. It's the first rising of the dough, so the second is more important. Now I will cut and clean my stuff, and then we will place the dough in the form and then steam it and bake it. See you in a second. Bye. So we are back. Now when you open the stove, the oven, stove, that's the stove, that's the oven, Martin, okay? Now open it and keep your head away, because there will come out steam. So it's not funny to have the steam right in your face. Now I baked my bread on the grid. Now we are going to use the grid. You just take the form and knock the bread out, and then we are going to check it, so we know what I've written about the turn it over and knock on it. You hear the sound. That's good. I assume strongly, about 90%, I'm certain this is baked well. Now, we are going to confirm my assumption by cutting the bread open, and I can do this now. I don't sell this bread, and so we are going to see it's perfectly baked. It has a homogeneous structure of small bubbles, and well, could you smell this? It's good. Now I'm going to let it cool down. I will clean the knife. I will open the stove, the oven, so it will get cold. Now the form, look at the form, it's almost clean inside. I will go and clean this with down with soap and reuse it in the next baking session. when you don't clean it, the fat and oils will get rancid and they will become smelly, and when you bake a bread in a not uncleaned baking form, it will just smell horrible. Okay, just clean the form, and then you have bread to share with people. They will like, and they will associate this liking from the bread with your personality. So when you bake good bread and share it, people will like you because they like the bread, and so they will absolutely start to like you. To get in connection with people, bake bread. I like to bake bread in form because it has a form after. You can cut this in finger thick sheets and make sandwiches from it. They will knock out the people out of their shoes. You can make salami sandwiches with this, cheese sandwiches, you name it, and smear some mayonnaise or butter on it, or I don't know the word for senf in English. In French it is moutarde. I have no clue. Well, you know it. It's when you had eaten it, you will know it. I don't know in English. Ah, Dijon. May that could it be? It's moutarde. I assume in English it's the same. This is a Mayel, original moutarde, fine de Dijon. This is sharp. You can taste it. It's good, but not too sharp. I like this. I have several sorts or kinds of moutarde in my fridge. I like it, like mayonnaise or butter. Well, again, back to the sandwich. When you want to sell those to workers on some work site, cut thick pieces. About the sandwich should have. Well, I think I will make a sandwich and show you what product you could sell from these. When you have no clue what people like or whom to sell. Also, I have bought these when I was on a work site in the restaurant. They get served sandwiches. We had to pay about $5 or $4 for such a sandwich, but it was worth this $4 because you had a leap of bread, really thick bread. You had about 100 grams salami inside, some cucumber, some vegetables, some eggs, some mayonnaise, and you had enough of this sandwich. So that would be maybe a product idea for you to sell or to gift to people. Okay. Well, then we are done. I go and buy some. Well, I have salami here. I will show you this with the salami sandwich in a second. I will make a cut again, cut this in pieces. I show you how to cut this. No, I have to wait, okay. You just cannot, you should not cut warm bread. It gives a mess, okay. You will see it on the knife. This is dough now. It's baked dough, but it will get sticky on your knife, so you cannot cut it proper. I will make a cut, and then I have the intention to show you what salami sandwiches people around here like. And I am certain to 99% people in anywhere in the world will like the sandwiches. Why not make them a different or ask them what they want for a sandwich? That's the best marketing you can do. Okay, see you in a sec. In a row, you will see it in the book. It's only bread in 6 parts. This bread or this dough you can use to make some small buns like parisette. You cut them open, you smear some curry mayonnaise on it, and place inside some ham, and then you close this small palisade with this ham and this curry mayonnaise. You will sell these like hotcakes. So those are really best sellers. We made about 200 or 300 each day, at least 300 each day, when not more, maybe 500 each day. And they are sold at 10 o'clock, so has to tell you something. They are really good. Now I take salami. I have cut it in half circle pieces. So when you bite on them, you can eat it very easy. But you don't have to cut it, you can buy it, cut it. So and there you have it. Oh, I forgot some of these pickles. You cut them in thin slices. We made this too. And you put it inside. And then to sell it or to present it, you take some. Okay, it stopped. You place it in such a foil, food protection foil, and you sell those. I've seen them from $6 to $3. Oh, excuse me. And workers buy them. I have paid $5.50 for such a sandwich. So there is a market for this. And workers like them because they deliver fat and meat from the salami, and this gives energy they need to work. So that's it. I'm hungry, excuse me. I will now finish this clip. Again, make some curry mayonnaise, curry powder mayonnaise. When you asked me about the recipe, 256 grams of mayonnaise and about 30 grams of curry. You make a strong paste of this. Not too strong, but not too flat or too tasteless. And yeah, when you have questions about other products, shoot me a mail. I can deliver you for sure other products that we are selling here like hotcakes. And when here is a market, maybe at your place will be a market too for this, and then you can sell those sandwiches. Or you can give them to people and make some new friends. People like those sandwiches. Of course, when they like what is inside. I like them with cheese. I put anything in them. I even have seen some tuna sandwiches with this. You take some tuna in the can and make a paste of it. They are really good too. Well, that's it for about now. I wish you a nice day and share some bread. Bye. Okay, Zack, cut. Here we are again for the 9th time. God, I love making this. Okay, I have the intention to show you how those curry mayonnaise sandwiches are made. I'm hungry right now, so I thought, why not give this value to you, or this recipe. Okay, it's easy. You buy some mayonnaise. You take about, well, that's sure enough. I will show it in a second. About this much for a sandwich. It's a little bit too much, but well, I make another one. You take some curry and well, give a a good portion inside there, about 1 teaspoon, 2 to 3 teaspoons of mayonnaise, and about half a teaspoon of curry. You mix that. You don't add anything else. That's all what is needed. It's such an easy recipe. We made in the bakery where I make my apprenticeship. What a word. We made about 3. We made a lot of them. Okay. We made about, I think about 200 to 300, when not more. And we sold those every day. They have been such a boost in our revenue. So you take a knife, you place this on your bread. We made them with some. I talk about in the last clip. So we made these sandwiches with a form of parisette, a small form of parisette. Well, that's it. It is how it is. It's a small form of parisette. You throw in some meat that is called Fleischkäse. Here I have no clue what it is called in English. It is some ground beef with ground fat, and it is then baked in the oven. It looks like this. I'm sure you know it when you see it. And it is baked in the oven like a bread. I like this. It's easy to eat. Children love it. So you can place in some pickles, and then you inside this. Then you have this. This is now a curry mayonnaise sandwich, and it's just perfect. We made bucket loads of this, bucket loads of stuff of this. It was such a good seller. Again, place some meat inside. Don't be cheapskate. Place meat inside when you sell them. Then the people will come back because they know you give them some really fat and good sandwiches. And that's it. This is like you make some curry mayonnaise sandwich, best-selling sandwich. I hope you try it, like it. When you don't like it, you don't like it. And well, that's it. I will cut here. Bye.